So, speaking of enough work to find them, activity levels. What you want to do is make 20 new calls per day. So you want to reach out to 20 new employers per day. Now, some of you might think like, oh crap, that's a lot. How can I do that? It's not. The career is worth your investment. Treat the acquiring of your job like you would working on the job. Put some real effort into it, right? Let me give you some numbers here, okay? So when you do 20 new calls a day, I'm not talking about callbacks, I'm not talking about following up with an employer, that doesn't count. These are new places. What that gives you is 100 calls a week, if you're doing it like a Monday through Friday, right? That's giving you approximately 400 a month. Now let's say, using the law of averages, we have a 25% rate of return. So if 25% of these companies are hiring, so that leaves 100 that are hiring, another 25% rate of reduction where 25 are willing to interview you, another 25% rate of return, that would put you at approximately 6 that will give you a job offer. Most people don't think about the numbers, the law of averages. Most people will poke it with a stick. They'll put in maybe 5 or 10 applications in a given month, and they're wondering why I'm not getting a job. If you put in real work, you'll get real results, sowing and reaping, right? What you sow, you reap. So you put the time in, you make these calls. Generally speaking, you'll get some good results. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. Sometimes the higher up the ladder you get, once you start getting 60, 80, 100K, these numbers are a little bit different, but also the way you get the job's a little bit different, right? You do it more through networking and other types of things. But even so, the law of averages still applies even for those sorts of positions, okay? So, activity levels are gonna lead to that. Now, don't freak out about 20 new calls. It doesn't take that long. Sometimes you're calling, and you know what? They're not even picking up the phone. So that counts, move on. Or they pick it up, hey, we're not actually hiring. Okay, move on. That's like a 1-minute phone call. Doesn't take any more than an hour a day, probably a half hour, right? Is getting your career worth an hour of your investment a day, right? It is. So you're gonna have homework. Your homework is, and you want to write this down, your names list, finding at least 2 to 3 career fairs or events that you can attend, social media posts, just one per platform, and then I want you to make 20 calls. Here's the information I want you to capture on that call. So you're going to have a notebook, you're going to have the company name, who you spoke to, what position they have open, how to apply, the name of the person you follow up with, right? And the way to reach them. So you're going to have that for each company. I want you to make 20 of those, and then you can send the results back to us.